Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Welcome to week 6 of the NFL football season. My name is Wayne Shorter, and then once I get this wallet off of me, we can start doing your Eliminator picks. D-Generation Wayne in the house once again, getting ready for your week 6 of the NFL season. And this week, we have a lot of good games that you can pick from as far as your Eliminator pools go. Last week, we got it right. We was not going to let the Steelers go by. On a second week, they had a good matchup against the Jets. They won going away 31-13. And also on my other picks, well, the Rams didn't fare so well against Buffalo. And I can't even remember my third pick, but the point of the matter is we got you through this week. Now it's time to get you to week 6 of the NFL football season. Once again, let's give you the rules of the survival pools. You pick one team each week. You can't use them again. Here are my rules. I always try to stick with the home team. No matter what, I stay away from division games, and I stay away from the road team pretty much. So, with that said, right now we're 2-3. We're going to get back on track. We're going to get to 500 this week because I can feel it, and I'm going to help y'all that if you're still doing better, if you're 5-0 and you're still surviving and advancing, good job to you so far. Now, let's get started in this week. As you know, we try not to stay away from the Thursday games because usually I try to do these videos on Friday or Saturday when I have a little more time to look at them. And, of course, because San Diego defeated Denver 21-13, a lot of controversy now over these Thursday games. I got a solution. I don't know if the NFL will go for it, but it would probably throw off a lot of people in fantasy football as well as regular football as well. I may give it at the end, but let's get to these picks. We're going to start with the one that I'm probably going to end up going with this week. Buffalo Bills, 7.5-point favorite over the San Francisco 49ers. Now, with that being said, Colin Kaepernick missed the protest himself, is now going to be the starting quarterback. I think it's going to take from them going from west to east, Buffalo already took out Arizona, which to me is a better team. And now they're getting the 49ers, pretty much a team in turmoil, not doing so well. This is my pick of this week. They're a 7.5-point favorite. They should win by at least 10. Oh, also, since we're talking about things that I called on last week, New England against Cleveland. A lot of people took New England. I probably would have because that was almost a gimme, a layup. And I also said that Tom Brady would pass for 403 scores. He passed for 406 and 3. Enough said. Moving on. The game that a lot of people is going to keep an eye on this week is the Eagles and the Redskins. Of course, it's a division game. We try to stay away from them. The Redskins, they're doing better after beating my Ravens on last week. Not too happy about that. Boss, 16-10. They're playing the Eagles. Carson Wentz is basically going to be this year's Rookie of the Year. And I know LA Rams are probably sitting there going, why did we trade all those picks to get Jared Goff? And he's not even playing right now. But it's all good. Eagles, 1.5-point favorites over the Redskins. As far as an eliminator pick goes, you know how I feel about division games. Stay away from it. Not worth it. Now, here's one a lot of people are going to take, but I'm going to stay away from. And that's the Cleveland Browns against the Tennessee Titans. Titans, believe it or not, a 6.5-point favorite. Way, way too high. Now, the last time Cleveland played a team that a lot of people took against them was the Miami game. He had to sweat the overtime. I got a gut feeling Cleveland's going to get that first win this week. I just feel that 6.5 is too high. Tennessee is just... Their running game is off the hook. Their passing game, Mariota, kind of so-so in the passing game. So as far as the pick goes, I would stay away from the Titans, even though it's tempted to take them because Cleveland is 0-5. But you got to remember, there's not been a winless team since the Lions. And I can't see Cleveland being that bad, even though they're, I don't know who they're starting. Cody Kessler at quarterback now. I think the former USC quarterback is now starting. So as far as the eliminator pick, I just have a gut feeling this will be one of those, nail-biting, keep me alive games. And you figure you're only going to use Tennessee once anyway. This would be the week to use it. I'm personally not going to use it. So let's move on. The Carolina Panthers, believe it or not, a 2.5-point favorite. Cam Newton has now been cleared to play for this Sunday's game against the Saints. Drew Brees will definitely put up some points against the Panthers defense, who was not as good as they were last year. Carolina, their season is this Sunday. They're 1-4. They have to. This is a must-win. With Cam back, I think they'll pull the upset. The Saints' home field advantage is not as strong as it once was. They've lost, I think, their last 6 or 7 home games in the Superdome. And right now, the Saints is pretty much They're like the old school San Diego Chargers for those back in the day, the Dan Fouts era. They'll put up 35, but they'll give up 38. So, with that being said, stay away from it. It's a division game, but I think the Panthers will pull it out. Next game, some is taking, is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears. The Bears is a 2.5-point favorite. I was kind of leaning towards this one. I think Brian Hoyer is now the starting quarterback for the Bears. You will not see Jay Cutler ever again in the Chicago Bears uniform. They will get rid of him after this year. That's almost a done deal. But as far as the game goes, this is my number 2 pick. I kind of feel confident with the Bears, especially by the way Brian Hoyer is playing. So, in all intents and purposes, if I didn't take Buffalo, I would take Chicago. So that's how strong I feel about this. So I think Chicago will win probably by 27 to 20 or 27 to 17 type of game. They'll win by at least 2 scores. You can book it. Next game up, the Rams and the Lions. Lions have already used 3.5-point favorite over the Rams. You don't know what team you're getting with the Rams each week. One week they'll score 40, and one week they score nothing. So, but as far as an eliminator pick, if you haven't used the Lions yet, I'd stay away from this game. It's not a strong feeling you would use to use Detroit on this one if you haven't used them already. I've already used them. They burned me. Matt Stafford throwing that pick against Tennessee. So this is one of the main reasons why I have a bad feeling about Matt Stafford. I think the Rams, it's going to be close. They'll keep it close. They're not going to. It's not going to be a blowout. It's not going to be a 2-score game. It's going to be a 1-score win either way. All right, here's the one I'm not really looking forward to. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to basically is going to be like a spring break. They're playing the Miami Dolphins. Pittsburgh 7.5-point favorite. The offense looks like they're back now that they have Le'Veon Bell running roughshod. He did an all-purpose game. I think he only rushed like 90 yards. But I think he had like 90 yards receiving as well. Threw in a couple touchdowns in the process in beating the Jets last week. Usually I'm not a big fan of taking the road team in Eliminator, but this is one of those you could probably have some confidence in knowing that the Steelers will beat the Dolphins. I think it'll be at least they'll cover the spread. It'll probably be an 8-point win, but the Steelers should win, which will make me unhappy because you know how I feel about the Steelers being a Ravens fan. And speaking of the Ravens, they are a 2.5-point underdog against the Giants. I got some personal friends in this game that are Giant fans, so this is kind of like a 4-year bet, like the presidential election. We only play each other once every 4 years, every presidential year. And I need to win this because my season with the Ravens, it's kind of on the line here. So Ravens, 2.5-point favorite. I think they will pull it. 2.5-point underdog, I should say. They will win this game outright. I got much confidence in Flacco. They got a new offensive coordinator, Marty Morningweg. And they seem to be, from the reports I've gotten from out of Ravens camp, they really like Morningweg. They really like what he wants to do with this offense. And I'm hoping, all I want to see is results on Sunday. You can like the coordinator in practice, but it's another thing to like the coordinator when the game is on the line. So, Ravens, you better win this one. Just saying. Next up, another divisional opponent. Cincinnati Bengals, 9.5-point favorite over, 9.5-point underdog, I should say, over the New England Patriots. They get Tom Brady back. He's not going to go for 403 in his first home game. He'll probably do about 325 and 2. 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. Patriots will win. They'll probably cover, like 27-10, something like that. But Patriots will win. I wouldn't use them as eliminator if you want to save them to later. Most of you probably used the Patriots last week against Cleveland, which is one of the very few times I would have used them, being it's against Cleveland. Next up, a good division matchup. Kansas City Chiefs, 1.5-point underdog against the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders are for real. They look like they have gotten their act together. Now they're a franchise, and I'm really hoping they stay in Oakland because the people of Oakland deserves this team. After all the years of Al Davis mismanaging and frustrating the fan base, and I'm hoping they get this stadium situation worked out. I really hope that the Ronnie Lott group steps in, buys the Coliseum, buys the land, works with works with the Raiders to get this deal done so they can stay in Oakland. They need to stay in Oakland. That's where they belong. That's where the black hole is. I just can't see the black hole on the strip of Las Vegas. It just wouldn't look right for me. But let's get this deal done. As far as the game goes, it's a division battle. Chiefs and Raiders are bitter rivals. Raiders late field goal around 20-17. But the Raiders will win. As far as eliminator picks, stay away. A very good matchup coming up, the Battle of the Birds. Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks. Atlanta Falcons shocked a lot of people last week going into Denver and beating the Broncos. Now, granted, they had Paxton Lynch starting at quarterback, and Atlanta took it to them. I was kind of surprised. Atlanta really took their defense, showed up because their defense kind of been giving up a lot of points all year. Now they're facing Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks in a 6.5-point favor. Seattle will not cover this game. Seattle will win, late field goal. But Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, the matchup is what everybody is looking forward to, and I'm hoping that it stays like that all game. Julio Jones against Richard Sherman. That is must-see TV, especially hoping that, and I think Julio will get a score and probably Sherman gets a pick and it's a wash. So, but Seattle will probably win this game, late field goal, 24-21. Now, the last 4 o'clock game, Green Bay and Dallas, America's game of the week, and the rumors that Tony Romo will get his job back after he comes from injury. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this one time. If you remember what happened, I think it was 2001. I'm sure it was 2001 when Drew Bledsoe got hurt and Tom Brady got in there, and what they say, the rest is history. As a Raven fan, I'm hoping Romo comes back so we can put him out. But Dak Prescott, if Dak Prescott can win this game against Green Bay in Lambeau, there is no way you go to Romo. I'm sorry. There is no way you can turn to Tony Romo. I'm rooting for Dak Prescott. I like the guy. He's in my fantasy team. That's why I like him. But as far as if he could go into Lambeau and beat them, how do you go to Romo and say, well, look, we're on a roll right now. You just can't do it. But this is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones will somehow put the star over the team. In other words, he'll put in Tony Romo, even if the team is like 8-1 and leading the NFC East by 3 games, just because Romo's his quarterback. I'm sorry. There are certain times that you cannot go back to the incumbent, even though he was injured. I'm sorry. Dak Prescott has proven himself to be the real deal. And if he can go into Green Bay and win this Sunday afternoon, I'm sorry. You're going to have to revisit that Tony Romo gets his job back thing. And I will personally say there's no way Tony Romo gets his job back. The Sunday night game coming up, division matchup, Colts and the Texans. Brock Osweiler is starting to be Brock Osweiler. And Andrew Luck is starting not to be Andrew Luck. And what I mean by not Andrew Luck is Andrew Luck's offensive line is just letting him get in too many hits. And Luck is starting to kind of showing some wear and tear from all them hits from over the last couple years. He was out for the year last year. I think he missed like 11, 12 games. He was out for the year. And the Colts, went in the tank. But they need to keep Andrew Luck upright and healthy. As long as T.Y. Hilton and Luck make that connection, it's going to be a long day for the Texans. But I still think the Texans will cover the 3.5, 24-20. Probably a late touchdown up at the end. Instead of we'll kick the field goal to tie, they'll probably get the touchdown to win the game, 24-20. Texans will cover, but as far as eliminator pick, how I feel. It's a division matchup, but stay away. Final game, Monday Night Football. This is actually my third pick if you want to go this route. The Jets, Jets, which haven't looked good over the last couple of weeks, facing the Arizona Cardinals. They get Carson Palmer back after a 10-day rest after they play their Thursday night game against the 49ers. Carson Palmer's actually be 11 days because it's going from Thursday to Monday. And Carson Palmer, they should win this. I think if you want to use them as the eliminator, I think it's safe to use the Cardinals. The Jets right now, the defense is not as good as it was last year. And right now, Ryan Fitzpatrick is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Enough said. So that's our picks for the week. As usual, thank y'all for looking. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for sharing. I know there's been a few shares on the Twitter world. I appreciate it. And also, we'll see you the next week for week 7 of the NFL season. Till then, it's Wayne Shorter. Peace out and God bless.